this is the fabric that I'll be using for my plackets. As you can see, let me just try and iron it a little bit because of the colors and the ruffles over there. So, and let me confirm if the height is actually gonna be enough for me, because my placket height is around 7 inches, and I must have an excess like 1 or 2 inches. So let me just see. Okay, the wideness is 5 inches, then the height. Okay, it's actually gonna be enough though. So this is what I'm gonna do now. Let me just try balance it off. So let me try and cut a little bit out there. So let me. Okay, this is okay. I think it will be enough. So let me try and balance off the coverage so that I will have a straight edge. So let me just okay. All right, this is it. This is the fabric that I'll be using now. Let me iron it a little bit. All right. So after then, I will be measuring my placket height and all my measurements. So the very first thing now I'll be doing is I'll be marking 5 inches for the wideness. All right, 5 inches. 5 inches. Okay. So I want the wideness to be 5 inches. You can actually do it in your way if you want more than 5 inches. I will tell you how I arrive on these 5 inches later on a little bit. Just let me mark this off. 5 inches there too. Right, so I'll just cut it out. Right, let me mark 5 inches there too. So I don't want to make a straight line on this thing, so that's why I mark it on the numerous way like this. So I'll just cut it off. All right, the height there is 9.5 inches, but what I'll be using is 7 inches. You can actually use 6 inches, 6.5, but I'm making extra large polo, so the height of the placket I want it to be 7 inches. All right, so this is my facing. We call this BFF, so I don't know what you call it your own side. This is BFF, so it will give my fabric a little bit of its teeth, so it won't be, that this fabric is always kind of elastic and stuff like that. So this BFF will actually give it a little teeth, and it won't make it to be draggy on the machine. So I'll just cut it the same measurement of the placket. So I'll just iron it. So don't forget, I'll be fixing my facing on the wrong side of the placket. All right, on the wrong side of the placket like this. So I'll just iron it. Right, just iron it. That BFF is very, very light. In fact, lighter than a nylon, so it doesn't add up to the weight, and it will give it a little, a little bit of a stillness. So let me just try and iron it very well, and let me trim off these edges. Let me trim off the edges, because those edges can actually disturb my irons. I just trim it off because of the gum and stuff like that. So if I don't trim it off and I started ironing it like that, the gum over there will actually melt my iron, and it can mess up my fabric and stuff like that. So this is it now. So the next thing I'll be doing now is I'll be folding 1/2 inch. Okay, before then, I told you that the wideness is 5 inches, but the actual placket that I'm going to be using is 1/4. All right, this thing will be folded into 3 parts, and each part I want it to be 1/4. That is 1.25 multiplied by 3, and that will give us 3/3. That will be 3.75 inches. All right, so the remaining, this is 5 inches. If you deduct that from 5 inches, 3.75 divided minus 5 inches, you actually be getting 1/4. So 1/4 is what I'll be folding on both edges. All right, so it will be more than ½ inch, a little bit, but it's a little bit of ½ inch on both sides. So I'll just make sure I fold that right on the first side and on the second side. So I'll turn it now and I'll fold the other part too. Don't forget, both sides should be 1/4. It should be 1/4. It shouldn't be more than that because of our calculation. It shouldn't be more than that. And if you want your placket, the wideness of your placket to be 1.5, that means you multiply 1.5 by 3 and you add your your folding allowance. Right, so but for here I'm using 1/4. So I'll just this is it now, 1/4. All right, so this is 1/4, and then I'll be folding it into 3 parts. All right, so each part will arrive as 1/4. All right, just make sure they are very, very equal. All right, once you achieve that, then I'll press it off. All right, let me just try and do something there. Just make sure they are balanced and very parallel edge. So once you achieve that, just press it off and create that kind of angle on it. Just press it very well. So after then, we'll now be going on our sewing machine and to start our stitching. Alright, this is it. If you actually place your measuring tape, you'll actually see that you must have 1/4 inch on each side. That's correct. So 1/4 on each side. So let's go to our sewing machine and start fixing it. So now here we go on our machine. If you confirm the size, you should actually be getting your 3/4 inch. That is 3.75, not up to 4 inches, based on the calculations that we did earlier. That is 1.25 multiplied by 3 will give us 3.75. So I'll be grabbing my front pattern, this one. Okay, done this. Okay, this is it. All right, so I'll be placing from the right side. Sorry, my right side will actually be facing up. My right side will be facing up, right, just like this. Then you know that we folded this part. If you notice that I folded the fabric, and so I'll make sure both edges align on each other. The reason why I make that angle is that I don't want I want it to be balanced as much as I can. So that is why I actually make that angle. So I'll just start my stitching 1/4 inch away from the angle, as you can see. Sorry, 1/4 inch away before the angle. All right, 1/4 inch before the angle. I'll just make sure I run my stitch as straight as possible. So my placket is 7 inches height, so I'll be measuring my 7 inches there. So I'll just mark it. Right, it's 7 inches. Let me just, so my stitch shouldn't exceed that place. So I'll continue to run my stitch like this. As you can see. So once you get to the last stitch, just bend your fabric a little bit and make a single step of your needle. Then turn it over, curve it again like this, and make a single stitch and balance it to the straight line, and continue to run your stitch to the end. Just steady, don't rush. Your stitch must be straight as best as you can. You must run your stitch on a straight line. All right, so that is it. So the next thing that I'll be doing now is, as you can see, this is it, very, very straight, and between the first stitch and the second stitch is actually a 1/4 inch. All right, so I will just open it. I'll just don't cut that thread. If you mistakenly cut the thread, you've actually messed up. All right, so make sure you don't cut the thread. So open it to the points that we make earlier. All right, so that is it. So the next thing now is to turn it like this. Let me show you. Turn it like this, then turn it over. All right, so let me just balance the bottom side. So just run your stitch very close. All right, as you can see, that is the essence of our fold. Let me show you. So the essence of our fold will actually cover up the open side of it will cover up the stitch that we made earlier. So I will just run my stitch from this place. The essence of this stitch is because it will actually stitch this is a half inch that we folded underneath. It will actually stitch it up with the sewing that we did. The sewing will be inside now. The sewing is inside. It's inside. So that half inch is actually covering it up from the beneath. So I'll just run my stitch to the end. Just make sure that a stitch is under the half inch underneath. All right, so I'll just run my stitch to the end, and then I will do the second part now. So let me show you this. As you can see, that is the half inch that we made. That is the essence of the half inch that we made. As you can see that the stitch is actually under and the half inch cover it up. So I will just make sure I arrange this thing very well. So we'll just turn it like this. All right, I'll turn it. It's actually making sense. All right, it's actually making sense. So I just make sure I balance it off. So this is it. So I just want to show you how the result is going to be like. I will later on use my pressing iron to press this off so that it will be flat as much as possible. This is it. It's actually making sense, and this is the most professional way of sewing your placket, as you can see. Let me just try to run my stitch. So I will be using my stitch to hold it down from the downside. So the stitch that I'll be making now will be a 1/4 inch away from the end point of my placket. All right, just like this. So that means our original placket will be 6 3/4. So, and it actually makes sense too. All right, if you can do your own to be 7/4 from the start, so that means you'll be ending up at 7 inches now. So the opening will exceed 7 inches. All right, so just a 1/4 inch. So just stitch it like this. All right, make sure it's balanced very well. Stitch it, pull in your needle and turn again. All right, so make sure you are balancing it so that it won't bend. One more, that's it. All right, so just stitch it up like this. All right, boom, we are actually almost done. As you can see, it actually makes sense. Very, very neat. As you can see, this is how it's really gonna be like. Right, so let me just remove this one. So this is it. So once we are done now, I will go to the pressing iron and press it off, and I will make sure it is very, very flat. Let me just show you the preview. So I will later on go to the pressing iron and iron it flat so that all those gallop will actually, it will actually flat. So if you are new to this channel and you like this video, make sure you subscribe, like this video, give it a thumb, and turn on your notification bell so that you get notified whenever I drop a new update. All right, so this is actually a professional polo placket. All right, thank you all for watching, and I'll see you in the other episode. Peace out.